What's up guys, welcome back. I'm here with another video, and today I'm going to redo the introduction to Power Automate. I did one a couple years back. A few things have changed. We've added some new flows, and so today I'm going to update the session and give you all of the latest goodness. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome to the Business Applications Summit. I hope your day is going great so far. My name is John Levesque. I am a senior platform evangelist for the Power Platform. I am going to talk with you today and do a brief introduction to digital transformation with Power Automate. So what's today look like? What are we going to talk about? First, we're going to talk about, well, what is Power Automate for those of you who are not familiar. Then we're going to kind of walk through the Power Automate homepage together. I'm going to show you the various parts, point out the important bits. Then we'll get into building a flow and talking about the different types of flows. I'll then show you a quick demo of our newest kind of flow, a UI flow, also known as RPA. Then I'll finish out with where you can find more info to keep your learning journey going, because our time here is short. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so I am here on the Flow homepage, the Power Automate homepage. And this is the unauthenticated version, where what you're going to see if you haven't signed in. And so for most of you, if this is your first time, this is the page you're going to see. And so there's a couple things I'll point out really quick here so that you can check them out in your time and we don't have to do it here together. So the first thing is there's an overview video that you can watch that will get you introduced to some of the ideas and concepts in Power Automate. It's a really great video. It's very short. I definitely recommend taking a minute and checking that out. Now, as we go down the page, we're going to get some information about what Flow can do for us. It can boost productivity, it can securely and quickly scale automation, it puts intelligent workflows to work. And so, first things first, let's answer the question, what is Power Automate? Power Automate is an automation tool. It's a way that you can quickly stitch together actions and triggers. So for instance, I can say, when something happens over here in my Outlook email, go ahead and make something else happen over here. Like maybe take a piece of that data and move it to a SharePoint list or to a CDS database. There's a million different possibilities in what we can then tell the flow to do. And so having that understanding of when something happens here, I can make something else happen over here. We'll go ahead and jump into Flow and kind of dig in a little bit more. So what I want you to do is, if you're following along, go ahead and click sign in the top right. You're going to go ahead and put in your credentials, and you're going to then see a page that looks something like this one. And so now this is the Flow Maker portal. This is where we make all the stuff happen. This is where all the goodness lives. Okay, so there's a couple things I'm going to point out right off the bat to you, okay? The first one is these templates right here in the center of the screen. We have these template collections. And so what we've tried to do is right off the bat, give you some instant value if you recognize a vertical that you're in. So right here, we have like 11 templates for sales. We have 12 templates to keep you informed when on the go, to increase your productivity. Here's some for software development. Here's some for an HR department, a marketing department, for teachers. And so let's just go ahead and click into one here. And what you can see is we have kind of some little collections of tasks and templates here that we think might be valuable to you if you are in one of those industries. And so what we can do is we can just click add, go ahead and put in our information and start using one of those templates right away. And so if that sounds exciting to you, there's an even better place that you can go. You can go and check out the massive collection of all the templates we have over here on the left-hand side. So if we go ahead and click into templates, we'll go ahead and see we have a huge wall of templates here. Right? This is our featured collection. This will just go on and on. It'll keep loading more. But the great part about this is you can actually search through the templates for the exact thing that you are looking for. So let's say, for example, that I work with SharePoint, right? I can go ahead and search SharePoint in the box here, and then I can see all these templates that contain SharePoint. And so, maybe what I want is, when something gets added to a folder, I want an approval to happen. And then I can start here, start an approval for a new file. And then it would move it to a different folder once it's approved. Oh, maybe that's unnecessary. Maybe I don't need it to move it. But we could find one that does do an approval for us just on the file without the movement, right? Or we could use this one and edit it and make it do exactly what we want by just removing that extra step. That's the beauty of templates. They're an amazing place to get started. It's where I learned Power Automate. One of my favorite things to do was go and check out these templates, click into one, use it for myself, and then I would go and edit it, and I would break it all apart in the background and check out what made it tick. And so templates, we have them broken down. You can search there by a connector that you want. You can also search for a name, like when a file is added. Like if you want to do when a file is added to a library, you can do things like that and you'll get results. You can also click through these collections like data collection or email, or if you want to use Visio to build your flows, we even have templates for that. Okay, so that covers templates for now. You get the idea. I want to go ahead and move on to the next section. The next really important section here is connectors. And so this is where you're going to get to see all of the different connectors that are available to you. And so this list is massive. I think there's over 320 different services that we connect to right out of the box. But the beautiful part about it is, let's say that we don't have a connector that you want. You can actually go ahead and build a custom connector and actually wrap the service that you want to use in Power Automate and consume it just like any of these connectors you see here. It is super handy. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. It's not something we're going to cover in this 100 level session, but just know that that possibility is there for you. Okay, so again, with connectors, we can search through. Let's say, we want to use SQL. We can search SQL. Oh, great. Okay, awesome. Look, I can see that I have many different flavors of SQL available to me here. Okay, awesome. Let's say I want to use the Common Data Service. Let's see if that's in there. Oh, great, it is. We have a bunch of different flavors for the Common Data Service. And so you can see here, if you're looking to find a specific service, here's another thing. So once we find it, we can actually click in and we can get some additional information. We can see what triggers are available to us on this connector. So that gives us some granular information about what are the possibilities we can do. And so what's a trigger, you ask? A trigger is the step that kicks off a flow. It's what says, go, flow, run, I need you to do something. And there's a few different flavors of trigger. And so right here, we can see that in the Common Data Service, there's a couple different triggers. When a record is created, when a record is deleted, when a record is updated. And so what we're looking at here is an automated flow. This is an automated triggered flow where a system, the flow, is actually listening to the Common Data Service to say, hey, when some change happens, I need a flow to run. And that change might be when something's created, that change might be when something is deleted, or that change might be when something is updated. So let's go ahead and actually go over here to My Flows and talk about the different types of flows with you. So we can see here when we go into My Flows and I click New, I have some options. I can create from a template. I can create from a Visio template. I can do an automated from blank. Now that's what we were just talking about. That Common Data Service, those triggers, those were all automated flows. Those are flows listening for a change in a system. Okay? There's an instant flow. Now these are a little bit different. Instant flows, I press a button of some kind to kick something off. That might be a button in a SharePoint list. That might be a button in a Power App. That might be a button, a physical button, like in the real world that I have on a desk. Buttons are an amazing part of flow and something that we should definitely get more into in depth and you should check out on your time as well. There's also scheduled flows. A scheduled flow is when I tell a flow to start at a certain time or on a certain date or on certain intervals. Maybe I say every third Thursday at 3 o'clock start, or on the 30th of every month start, or at 6 o'clock every day start. And so instead of listening for a system or pressing a button, the flow will actually just go ahead and kick off on a schedule. And then we have a business process flow. Business process flows are a human-centered process where I can create a process that asks a human being to walk through a list of tasks. And when they do that, it advances a stage. And so business process flows are for human-centered processes where I need a human's input to show me to move the next stage on. And then also one last type, the newest type, we have UI flows. And so UI flows live here under their own separate tab inside of My Flows. To get to them, you'll click on the UI flows tab, and then I usually click right here to create a UI flow. And then you'll see that you're going to have two different flavors of that. We have the desktop version of UI flows and the web version of UI flows. Now keep in mind, these are different and they're only going to work in their respective way. If you choose a web app, you're not going to be able to do desktop automation. If you choose desktop app, you're not going to be able to do web automation. Now, in the future, we are looking to bring those together, and there are creative ways that we can stitch those actions together right now. But just know that in a single UI flow, you can do desktop or web, not both. Okay? Cool. So, now that we've covered all of the different types of flows, let's go ahead and actually just look at some of the different types of automated and instant and all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to automated from blank. And let's just give you a few ideas here of what these triggers look like. So you can see there's things like when a new response is submitted in Microsoft Forms, or when an item is created in a SharePoint list, or when a file is created in OneDrive for Business, when a task is assigned to me in Planner. You can see here that the automated flows are continuously listening to all these systems, over 320 now. And what it's going to do is it's going to listen to that and then let you decide what you want to happen when that happens. So let's say that we're listening to a Microsoft form. What we could then do is say, every time someone submits a response to this form, go ahead and send them an email thanking them for submitting the form, and send them a bunch more info with details and all the stuff that they need. Or we could say, when someone submits a form response, go ahead and pull their manager and create an approval and send that form response to their manager for approval. Now, I have demos up the wazoo showing all these different types of things, and at the end of the session, I'm going to give you some links to go and check out demos to all these kinds of things. Because unfortunately, I just don't have the time to show you it and give you all the goodness I need to show you today, okay? So, now let's go ahead and check out a different type of flow. If we do a new instant from blank, we're going to see a different set of triggers becomes available to us. Like manually trigger a flow. So this is like a virtual button. It's a very quick form that we can throw together where someone can press this button, enter a couple of inputs, and the form kicks off and the flow kicks off for them. Or if you're working with Power Apps and you need a Power App to kick off a flow, you have the Power Apps button to then call any flow you want when that button is pressed inside of Power Apps. We're also making it easy so you can talk to virtual agents. If you don't know what virtual agents are, they're our brand new chatbot program. It's amazing. I have videos for that too. At the end, when I show you the demos link, be sure and go and check out all those videos because there's so much goodness in there. And if you haven't seen virtual agents, I would say definitely take a second and check that out because it's a low-code, no-code chatbot tool that allows anyone, even people like me, to make chatbots, and it's incredible. And so, you know, there's a bunch of different options here. We can see when for a selected message in Teams or for a selected file in OneDrive. These are all button presses that we can initiate to kick off various actions. Now, the last one I'm going to cover here really quick is scheduled. And this one is very simple. You can see here that it's just a schedule builder. And so we could say, you know, let's start tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then we'll repeat it every week. And then we could even say, oh, you know, I would actually like to do it more than just on Fridays. Maybe I also want to do Thursdays or Tuesdays. And so now I could run on Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. every single week. And I just created a flow trigger to do that for me right here in this builder. As soon as I click create, that flow is going to go ahead and create itself and set that trigger in place for you then to decide what's the next thing I want this flow to do. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is we're going to actually hop over to a UI flow demo. I have one built. I'm going to run it for you, and I'm going to show you how a UI flow can take a XLS Excel file and save it as an XLSX file. This is something that an API can't do. There's no good way to do this other than manually clicking buttons yourself as a human being. And so we're going to go ahead and watch a UI flow do it. You ready? Okay, so we can see here, I'm going and starting the UI flow. I am then going ahead and clicking on next. I'm going to set some input fields here, and so I'm setting up a file name. Now I'm going to launch the recorder for the UI flow. And so it's now recording everything I'm doing. I open up Excel. I hit the record button here. And now it's actually going to follow every step I take. And you'll see it's going to actually create a flow step for every single action that I take here. Every click, every mouse movement, a flow action will be created. So I'm going ahead and pasting in a link here to a file to show you this quick demo example. And then I'm going to save it as an XLSX from an XLS. And so we hit save. And then I'm going to exit out the app. I'm going to tell the flow to stop recording me. And now we go back in. And so now you can see, look at this. Every step I've taken, every click, every mouse movement, it's all here. And the cool thing is the UI Flow's interface is actually taking a screenshot of everything I've done, everywhere I've clicked, everywhere I've put in data. And so it's an amazing tool to actually be able to see the process as well. Not only is it automating this all for me, but it's actually showing me every single step of the process. And so, you know, an added bonus of this that I like to talk to people about is imagine the documentation you could create very simply by using this recorder to follow you through a process and then using these screenshots to then go ahead and create that walkthrough. And so now I'm going ahead and deleting some unnecessary steps here, extra clicks that the flow doesn't need to run through just because, you know, sometimes as a human we double left click. I'm going to save, I'm going to hit next, and I'm going to test. So we're deleting that converted file, and now I'm going to go ahead and paste in that link, and here we go. So now you can see in the background, Excel was brought up. It's now going ahead and opening the file. You can see it goes to browse, it pastes in the input exactly like we did. It's going to click the open button. And then here it goes. It X's that out. It hits file. I'm not doing any of this, by the way. This is all the UI flow running, doing back exactly what we just did. And so you can see here, it changes it to XLSX, hits save. And now we'll close Excel. Boom. Just like that. And so it's an amazing tool, these UI flows, what they can do. They can do things that other flows can't do. This is the beauty of what UI flows now brings to the table. We've had automated flows and instant flows and scheduled flows and business process flows, and these things have been great. They've connected you to APIs in the cloud. They have brought you the ability to stitch together systems in ways that you've not been able to do. But now adding UI flows, RPA, we're bringing that legacy piece to the equation, that analog piece where look at Excel, there was no programmatic way to save that file previously. And now we have a UI flow that can do it for us. And so this is my time. I want to go ahead and leave a little bit of room for Q&A. But more importantly, before we part ways, I want to leave you with some added goodness. I am going to leave this here for a second and just talk about each link so you have plenty of time to take these links down, because these are going to be the lifeblood of your continued learning. If you want to take your Power Automate game to the next level, if you want to dive in way deeper than this 101 and find out what this is really all about, these are the places to go. So the first one, the community. We have almost 300,000 monthly active participants in our community. It is the place to go and get connected to other people who are doing Power Automate. We have a support team there that helps answer questions. We have an amazing team of MVPs there that helps answer questions. There's a video gallery. There's a community blog. There's a cookbook where samples of flows are shared for you to just go ahead and download and use. It's definitely the one-stop shop, and if you're going to check out one of these links, that's the one place you should check out. Next, if you want demos, if you want to see flows being built by me and by other experts in the community, go and check out that flow tutorials link. Every single flow tutorial I've ever made with anyone lives there. And so if you want to see a video, I think there's 100 of them now. If you want to go see those, that's the place. And then finally, I've broken out a little playlist that I'm continuously adding to. So far, there's 4 videos. We definitely plan to add more. But if you want to go check out specialized material just on the UI flows, just on the RPA piece, go ahead and go to aka.ms UI flow tutorials. That's going to be the spot where those will live. I will continuously add all the UI flow pieces and videos there, and so keep an eye on that. That playlist will grow. And last but not least, if you like my teaching style, if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me at John J. Levesque on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the places all over the place. And I have a YouTube channel where I do this kind of stuff all the time. Would love for you to come and subscribe and follow me there. Okay, much love from me. I'll talk to you soon.